What is going on, guys? Craig 1287 here, bringing some Battlefield 3 gameplay. In the background, going to be seeing some Karg Island TDM with the AUG. I love the AUG, and this is one of the more popular TDM maps, as well as Nose-Hair Canals. And that's actually this server was just kind of alternating between the two of them, and just playing with my buddy Zach here, and so. We were in this server for a good bit, so there's going to be a good bit of footage, some TDM footage for this week and whatnot. So I do hope that you guys are interested in seeing that. But I've also got a decent mix of some other things. Got some tank gameplay as requested by one of the subscribers. So. Got some good stuff coming out this week, and going to continue some of the discussion of Battlefield 4 for some of the stuff that we have been seeing or had seen that was released at Gamescom last week and this past weekend. So we've already kind of discussed boats and things like that, and for the most part it seems like you guys were in fair agreement with me that they are going to be definitely a force to be reckoned with, but obviously, we just don't know right now if they're going to be super duper, what people are going to be calling out as OP and get nerfed pretty quickly, or maybe they will actually be balanced. So, time will tell for that. Now let's move on to something that, again, not a lot of people are discussing. These are going to be just some of the smaller topics. Some people are kind of talking about, but they're just not as big a focus. Everybody's talking about the maps and things like Levolution and things like that. Those have kind of been talked upon and all sorts of stuff. So this is one of the smaller topics, and this is with the kits. One of the kits, the Engineer kit. And in previous Battlefield titles, the Engineer has had access to one rocket type at a time. No other Battlefield game you've been able to have the two different types. You've had some that could lock on to two different types, like, say the Javelin, that you could lock on to ground, and if it was so flamed, you could lock on to air. So you've had something like that. With Bad Company, you could tracer dart something and lock on to ground and air. So, I mean, there have been things somewhat like that. But now in Battlefield 4, as we've seen, some of the videos showing off the loadouts, is that you can have two different equipment slots on the Engineer, and you can mix and match. So you can have any of the rockets. I don't know. I'm doubting it will allow you to have something like an Igla and the Strela on at the same time. I'm sure it'll be blacked out or red font and not let you equip both. But if it does, then, I mean, hey, more power to you. It'll be a serious anti-air threat. But you can take things like you can have the RPG-7 or the small, and both of which are the dumbfire. But now they can lock on to things that are so flammed and tagged like that. But you can have the two typically dumbfired rockets, and then toss on one of the typically anti-air rockets, the Igla and the Strela. So you can have both of those, which a lot of people are screaming out that that's OP and that's going to break the game, and that engineers are going to be way too powerful, and vehicles of all sorts are not going to have a chance, which I don't think is going to happen. I mean, it's just not going to happen. There's just so many vehicles, and there's so many ways to break lock-ons and things like that, and it's just going to make it a more varied thing. You still can't shoot both at the same time. You have to have one whipped out. So you still, got to make sure you're in good positions to be able to shoot these things. You're not going to be getting shot by. So you're not just going to be dealing death out like crazy and taking things down. It's still going to take more than one rocket from a person to take things out. You're not going to have one hit rock. So nothing damage wise has really changed. It's just you have a little bit more customization in what you can take. And I also don't know how much you can carry. If you have two equipped at the same time, are you going to be able to have the increased explosive rocket amount perk on, and will that affect both of them equally amount? Will you be able to hold 6 or 7 rockets of each? I don't know. If anybody does have the answer, then share that link, provide a video link or things like that. But it would be, honestly, I still don't think that would break it, even if you were able to have that many of each type. I'll go ahead and admit I'm very biased in this case as a primarily infantry player. I don't, I'll pilot I'll drive a vehicle every now and then. Very rarely do I pilot. I think I only have 2 jet kills in total in all of Battlefield 3, my time playing with the game. So, I don't do a whole lot of air stuff. Very rarely will I get in tanks or Amtracs or something like that. So, I love this. There are times when there's that one helicopter that just really pisses you off, and it's a really good team that are in there, and they just go through the entire round, maybe getting taken out once, and you see at the end of the game they're 50-1 or 60-1 or something. They're able to lock down an entire team, and so having this means that people don't. Having to switch to that RPG means you'll never be able to take out that air unless you get a stupidly lucky random shot out in the air. Which, let's face it, there's some skill involved, but it's still, for the most part, very much luck. So that, prevents a lot of people from switching, because they know that the second they switch, someone else will take it out, or they'll crash, or they'll never see him again, and then they're stuck with this lock-on thing that can't lock on to any of the things that they would like to. The second you switch to a anti-tank type thing, all you see is jets and helicopters, and then you die, and then you'll switch to an anti-air, and all you'll see now are just all tanks and Humvees and Amtracs and APCs. It's just annoying. It's kind of it's a curse. Like, if you run out of ammo, you ask 20,000 people, drop some ammo, drop some ammo, drop some ammo. The second they do, you'll get shot. It's a curse that happens in Battlefield games. And so being able to have this dual setup and weird mixed matching, and you can toss on javelins and whatever the law is, and the straw, and all those other weird things that they've got in the game. So you'll be able to have all these different things equipped in combinations with each other to really have like a pretty cool loadout and things like that. The second you want to switch to a javelin in Battlefield 4 or in Battlefield 3, no one will start using the SOFLAM or the third seat in the tank or anything like that. So in Battlefield 4, you can use that when you can, when there is an actual lock-on, and when someone isn't, you can just, screw it, I'll just take it upon myself, and I'll, use my wire-guided rocket or my dumbfire rocket or whatever. So I really think it's going to open up the engineer and make them a much more viable class. Because everybody knows that, honestly, engineers are not the most OP class. They're very specific to taking out vehicles. You can use them against infantry, but their primary purpose is taking out vehicles. But how many vehicles are there on a map compared to how many players are? And what's the best kit against players? You can argue whatever you want, but honestly, it's going to be the assault class. That's just the best overall kit, and it's generally accepted that assault class is just that good. They get kind of the best weapons, they've got the revive ability, and they can heal themselves even when under suppression. So, it's nice to see Engineer going to be getting some nice perks and things like that, and so it'll be nice. You can still use a Javelin to get that massive AT damage dealer, but if need be, if there's a wall that you need to take out and blow up, if there's a sniper up in a tower or at a wall, on the second floor, third floor, or something like that, typically if you have a Javelin, you can't do anything about that because it has to have a lock-on. So now you could switch to your dumbfire RPG-7 and take out walls, arm MCOM from behind the wall, and take out snipers and people that are up in towers, things like that. I really think it's a good thing. Obviously, I can't say too much because the game's not out. I haven't really seen it in effect. Nobody really has, just at these demos offered at conventions. But this is DICE we're talking about. They're actually pretty darn good at balancing things compared to other shooters that have come out. You gotta admit, there's certain things that typically are a little more powerful, but I think they're going to do a good job of balancing this. And Battlefield 4 maps are massive. They're now going to be much more so designed for 64 players with the next-gen consoles. I'm sure they've not paid attention to balancing these things for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 because I'm betting EA has paid them just oodles of money to pay attention to the the new consoles and PC, which has 64 players. So the maps are going to see a lot better balance in terms of that higher player count, and I think it'll be a pretty darn good thing. So what are your guys' thoughts? I've just kind of been talking quite a bit because this is sort of a long video, and so, you know, what do you guys think? Is the engineer going to be OP? Is this going to be pretty darn balanced, or does he still need a little more help? Again, you know, I think it's not bad. I think it'll be alright, but what are you guys looking forward to doing with the engineer? What are some of the, you know, if you haven't seen the list, go ahead and find it. There's plenty of YouTube videos out there showing the engineer loadout. There's plenty of lists on Reddit and other websites that just show all the different rockets now available to the engineer, and, you know, it gives the description of what they can do. What are the combinations that you guys are wanting to do? You know, are you gonna just skip it and go with the that new Claymore style anti-tank thing? That thing I'm still a little fishy with. I don't think too many people are gonna use that, because I don't think it's going to be that effective against heavy armor type of things like APCs, Amtraks, and tanks. I think that'll be for like anti-Humvee type of deals, and it's like, why use that when you could have just laid out a mine that would have done the exact same thing? Maybe because mines you have to put out in the road, and these Claymore things have a direction, a horizontal direction to them. So that means you could put them next to buildings and next to MCOMs, and when people drive up on them like that, you know, maybe, who knows, that'll be the good purpose for them. But what do you guys think? What do you all want to combine? Please post it in the comments. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you think it's going to be OP and all stuff like that. And I hope you guys have enjoyed the gameplay that's going on in the background, and continue to do so. It's going to be a pretty darn lengthy video. So, and then when you guys are done talking about this subject matter with the engineers, please ask any other questions, any other issues or topics that you would like for me to discuss. I've got 3 other ideas that I'm going to be doing videos on, and then I'll probably just touch on some of the more commonly talked about things. But what do you guys want to hear about? What do you want to, you know, just voice your own opinions upon? And let's get a good, thriving discussion going. And so, yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed the gameplay and the discussion. Have a good one. Ta-ta.
But it's what you do in your free time.
Not exactly, because then that would mean that's what I am, and I said I am not. Oh, come on.
Pick up your med kit.
Dude, that is totally not cool. The AS Val.
It's a good gun.
Don't defend it, Craig.
It's a good gun.
I've been killed so many times by that fucking gun.
Well, it's a good gun.
But I'm gonna use it. As soon as I unlock it, I'm just gonna hoard the shit out of it.
And it's a tricky gun to use. It's not an easy one.
How's it tricky?
Accuracy goes out the window once you start to move. But before you do, come on. Before that, it has.
Is that you inside of there, Craig?
Nope.
Ah! 21 kills. How the hell am I supposed to catch up with you?
I don't know. Kill people? Discus?
Take that med kit. Pick it up.
Did you say discus?
To kill people.
Hostile soldier in your AO.
Oh, dang, I just got shot from a lot of people. You killed me, you taint.
Payback's a bitch, Craig.
It was quite the female dog.
I thought you said you were mobile.
I was. I was getting shot at by a lot of people. I had to keep reloading. And you don't reload out in the open. It's just stupid. You do gotta keep mobile.
Dude. Excuses.
Not making excuses for
still.
my awesome KD.
No, you're making excuses for me killing you.
Oh,
3 times what, that game?
did I really get first?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, wow. Joined late.
Ooh, I've been promoted.
So have I. Aw, I'm 69. Ooh, Nemesis
Ooh,
medal.
hey, look, I got my Savior medal.
I got that Nemesis medal. That's
Combat.
always a good one to get.
Get a combat efficiency ribbon. I got like a bunch of ribbons. There's games where I literally, it would just show like ribbons as the thing for my score. I'd say like times 20 or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I just. I don't know what the amount is. Hey, squad. Yeah, at some point it just kind of lumps them into one giant thing.